Hello, my beautiful collective. Welcome to yet another installment of the Healing Podcast with uGogo Mphemba. Can you guys believe that we are 6 episodes in? Unbelievable, right? Thank you so much for the reception and the engagement. It really has been amazing. I see your comments, and there's actually a comment that I would like to address. Okay, so guys, at the beginning of every episode, I give disclaimers. In these disclaimers, I mention I am a South African Nguni woman who speaks Xhosa, who speaks Zulu, right? I was born in Zululand. Therefore, I'm more fluent in Zulu than I am in Xhosa. But my roots, right, my DNA yom Xhosa. Okay. So, ke ngoku, I also mentioned this podcast is centered around African spirituality. It is very important to listen with comprehension rather than listen to just comment. I'm very quick to pick up low vibrational energy. It has an uncouthness about it, so to speak. So, okay, there was a comment here where a particular individual was defending witchcraft and basically wanting us to understand witchcraft according to a Western concept. There are white witches and I guess black witches. If you had just listened to the disclaimers at the beginning of the podcast, all episodes from episode 1 right up to episode 6, you would know that you are completely out of place here. You should not be here. There is no need for you to even comment, okay? Because you were informed about this is a space for African spirituality, right? And I had explained, I'm a South African Nguni woman, and here in my region, we don't have white witches or black witches, we have witches. Just like we don't have white pedophiles and black pedophiles, we have pedophiles. Okay? We do not have white rapists and black rapists, we have rapists. Okay? So we are not going to pick apart, right, these archetypes that have a negative connotation and try to now make them acceptable for society, right? So that together they blur the lines between good and bad, good and evil. We're not going to do that. All right, you're in the wrong place here. This is a private hospital for individuals who have been affected by witchcraft, who have been hexed by people who bewitched themselves in order to send them curses. Okay, so you can go write those comments in the public hospitals of witchcraft, which we are not a part of. This is a high vibrational space, okay? And therefore, we welcome high vibrational energy. Hambo Pigisa, go make your own podcast and defend witchcraft, but not in this space. Because the last thing that we want, Sinomakulu, is to confuse the collective that we're trying to realign, that we're trying to enlighten. Hey guys, listen, you don't have to be a victim of witchcraft. Okay, you don't have to be a victim of white and black witches in general. We do not segregate. A witch is a witch, a criminal is a criminal, a pedophile is a pedophile, a rapist is a rapist, a murderer is a murderer. We don't have white murderers and black murderers. So it's something that I'm very compassionate about. The teachings that Umakulu delivers, right? In this podcast, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that you guys do not see in preparation for the delivery of every episode of this podcast. Okay, so again, I will not tolerate anybody who tries to deter us from the path that we're moving nicely, smoothly along. Ne? We are not going to entertain low vibrational energies. I cannot entertain a Western concept of spirituality because a lot of spiritual concepts in the Western culture were stolen, not even adopted or adapted from. They were stolen from ancient Kemet people and other ancient African civilizations and then altered into doctrine in order to control African people to surrender their wealth of resources, right, for selfish benefit to the West. So, okay, I do not entertain any form of Western understanding of spirituality, all right, because it is secondary. And our understanding of spirituality as Africans is primary. So I just wanted to clarify that. Get in where you fit in. And if you do not understand or resonate with African spirituality, this is not the space for you. So, some disclaimers before we begin, because they are clearly more necessary than I previously thought. I am a South African Nguni woman. I was born in Zululand, KZN, KwaZulu, Natal, and I am a Xhosa woman by blood, by heritage, right? So, okay, I am comfortable communicating ngesiZulu. I am comfortable communicating ngesiXhosa. Okay, so I will go into those languages throughout this podcast. If there is something you do not understand, feel free to key in the comments and engage with one another. As long as you keep the conversation high vibrational, we are good to go. Also, this podcast is fundamentally based on African spirituality. Therefore, if you do not resonate with the African spirituality space, you will not resonate with this podcast. It is not the place for you. Okay? We also do not need your comments that do not resonate with African spirituality or the African spirituality space. All right? We are here to enlighten. We are here to uplift. We are here to ensure that you live your life as the best version of you. Okay? And anything outside of that, we will not entertain. Sinomakul. All right, my beautiful collective. So today we are going to be talking about love and relationships. Listen, I've been blushing the whole day. I don't know. I don't know what is going on, but I guess, I don't know, I'm just channeling the energy. We are talking about love and relationships, and we are not just looking at love in general and relationships in general or platonic relationships. We are focusing on the romantic space, okay? So if you have been following this podcast, you should have an idea yoguti i-emo kaMakhulu ikanjani, right? Her modus operandi. uMakhulu likes to break things down. She likes to define things, right, in order to give you a fundamental understanding, a fundamental basis, right, upon which to build more knowledge, right? So foundation is very important. And she takes you to the foundation of these concepts. So if we're going to be looking at love and relationships, then we need to define love. We need to define relationships. So what is love? Okay? uMakhulu refers to love as lucid, objective, venerable energy. What are you on about? Lucid. Lucid means that it is colorfully expressive and clear. So there is no confusion when it comes to this energy. It is clear, it is colorfully expressive. So anything outside of that cannot constitute love. Objective, it means that it considers everybody involved, okay? It is not selfish, it is not subjective, it is objective. It considers everybody else involved. Okay, so it's not just about self and one's feelings and one's opinions. It is also about considering the feelings of others and taking into account their opinions, right? And their expressions as well, being mindful of their expressions, right? Then we have venerable, which means that it is accorded a great deal of respect. Okay, so anything that does not come with a great deal of respect is not love, guys, right? And then energy is the energy, right? It is associated with us as light beings. It's a form of energy. So love is energy, and it is an energy that is colorfully expressive, that is clear. You will never be confused or not know where you stand, right? In a relationship where there is love. It is objective, it is fair, it considers everybody involved. It is not self-focused, it is not self-centered, it is not selfish, right? It is considerate of all involved. Venerable, it affords a great deal of respect. A great deal of respect. Okay, so where there isn't a great deal of respect shared between the two individuals who are now in this love energy, then it is not love. If there is not a great deal of respect accorded or afforded to both individuals, this is love. It is an energy. Understanding that love is an energy, it cannot be created or destroyed. It moves and transforms as it moves. Okay, we see the evidence of energy through physical, emotional, mental, spiritual transformation. There are changes that we begin to see. All right, now let's define relationships, right? What do we mean by relationships? We mean the interaction between all parties involved, right? With regards to now seeing the dynamic of this love energy play out. So in relationships, we are simply seeing the dynamic of the energy at play, playing out. Okay. And then we said we are focusing on romantic relationships. What do we mean by romantic, right? So romantic is actually a description that is derived from the ancient Roman civilization. So this ancient Roman civilization saw love as this very free-spirited, whimsical type of energy, right? Very sexual in its nature as well. So again, when we say romantic, we are focusing on the aspect of love where we engage sexually, where there's a lot of happiness and just free-spirited energy going on, all right? And it is derived from the view of the ancient Roman civilization around love, okay? So again, we use that description or that display, of romantic love to then constitute love and relationships in the romantic sense, right? As modern day people. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So now that we have defined love and relationships and romance, we have an idea of what we're talking about, right? Now we look at what happens now when we say that we are in love with a particular individual, all right? So, Umakhulu has an issue, right? And I laughed when she brought this up, with us falling in love, okay? And she asked me, Uguti, why are you falling in love? Why are you not developing in love? Right? Or developing into love. Okay. And I said, what do you mean? So then she mentioned about the building blocks of love energy are compassion, kindness, service, and care. What? Compassion, kindness, service, and care. She then said those building blocks constitute love energy and tell you whether it is present or it is not present. So love energy cannot be something that you fall into. It is something that you develop into. Okay. So then Umakhulu mentioned ukuthi now this is how you develop into love energy. You assess the following things. And these things that you assess, we take them from these building blocks, right? Compassion, kindness, service, and care. She said you take compass from compassion. You take kin from kindness. We take serve from service. And we take car from care. Okay. Interesting. Pearls, 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 pearls. So we have compass, kin, serve, car. Compass, kin, serve, car. Repeat with me. Compass, kin, serve, car. Again, compass, kin, serve, car. These are extremely important, and here is why. You look at a person's compass, right? You look at their source of navigating life. Where is their compass directing them, right? And what constitutes their compass? What is their belief system? Do they believe in a higher power? Do they believe in guides and ancestors? Are they atheist and they don't believe in anything? Right? You look at their source of guidance, their source of direction in this life. All right? You also look at Uguti, how strongly do they believe in the guidance that they receive? Do they take it seriously? Very, very important. Very important to look at a person's compass. Okay, and usually we see this compass manifest as their belief systems, their views around spirituality. We see it as their understanding of the energies at play in our universe. Okay, so you look at their compass. You guys are easy to fall in love. As Umakulu says, we fall in love, and that is the issue. We just fall in love like we are falling for a facade. We're falling for a trick. We're easy. Let me not say you guys. Let me say we. Okay, because I'm excluding. We do not look at a person's compass. We do not even want to understand Guti Bamepu spiritually. Right? Umakulu had mentioned in the last episode, Guti, we engage with people sexually without having a cord cutting self and ensuring Guti they also do a cord cutting. Right? Because we do not understand their compass. We don't understand the compass yabo iba yisapi. In which direction are they being led? You see, so a compass is very, very important. Then we move on to kin, which is now derived from kindness, the building block of love, which is kindness. Kin. So kin, you look at how they interact with their loved ones, with family, with relatives, with friends. You look at how they interact with those people. You look at their relation to them. You look at how they relate with them. Okay. You look at the people they hang around with. Is the energy mainly toxic? Is the energy uplifting? Right? Do they uplift each other and motivate each other to pursue success and high vibrational energy in life? Or do they conglomerate and converse about nonsensical things? Riches, girls, sex, quick fixes of making money? Or do they have constructive conversations, right? Are they aware of what is going on in the world, in the earthly space that they live in? You look at the topics that are discussed. Do those topics show any form of awareness with regards to their life experience and the energies at play? So you look at the company that they keep, because that will give you very important information with regards to how they relate, right? And how they will relate with you. And then we look at serve, which is adapted from the building block of service. Okay, and here you need to observe whether they feel entitled, right, to being served. You need to look at whether they serve with compassion, right, or whether they receive service with gratitude. Okay, very important. And the main thing is to see if they are able to maintain a balance, right, in the serve energy. Do they give more than they receive back, or is there a balance? Is there a balance of give and take in them serving others and in them allowing others to serve them back? Okay, there needs to be balance. There needs to be reciprocation. So you look at how they serve self as well. Do they take care of themselves? Do they exercise self-care? Or do they have a high level of self-preservation? Do they consider others as well? Do they consider the care of others? Do they contribute to caring for others? Okay, very important. Looking at how they serve and how they receive being served. Okay, and seeing if there's a balance there. And then you look at the car. What's Coco? They need to drive a car. Yes, they need to drive a car. It's 2025. I'm kidding. So we look at the car, right? Which is adopted from the care aspect, the care building block. Guys, remember, as a high vibrational spiritual being, you are not just materialistic. Okay? You are holistic. So the material matters, the emotional matters, the mental matters, and the spiritual matters. Okay, so we look at if they do own a vehicle, then we look at the condition of the vehicle, of the car. We look at how they relate to their car, the relationship they have with their car. Do they keep their car clean? Do they extend a certain level of care? You look at whether they constantly experience car problems. Inkinga leyo. Because it communicates a very important message about their life journey. If you constantly have car problems, guys, I never believed it. Umakhulu revealed this to me in 2021 or either 2021, when I was attending Reiki training, and she was bringing quite a number of downloads, and I used to just take my notebook and write everything down that this lady was sharing with me. It was only after she dropped that gem where I realized, because I didn't have the security my ancestors' army. I hadn't had imbeleko done. And after having imbeleko done, zero, not even like zero, uchayisa. Imoto yami ngamani scratchwe if you drive ngomnye umuntu, but never. Never, So looking at the condition of the car, is their car giving them problems, too many problems? Ning iphukile imoto ayisahambi, ning imoto ayina petrol oko. Like, what is going on with the car? And if they do not own a vehicle, if they do not own a car, right, in waking life, then you have to see them with a car in your dreams. If you do not see that potential lover of yours in your dreams driving a car, you've got no business. You've got no business. Our guides and ancestors use the symbolism of a car to tell us about our movement along this life journey, right? To tell us about things that are either hindering progress in our lives, right? Or things that are promoting progress in our lives and the lives of the people that we share time and space with. So when you are now going to develop love for a person, you need to see their car in your dreams, because you need to have guidance with regards to the movement of their life path. How are they moving along their life journey? And you look at the condition of the car. Is it broken? Does it not have wheels? Is it on a gravel surface? There is a video on TikTok I shared revealing to you guys certain symbolism around cars that our ancestors used to communicate important messages of guidance with regards to our life journey. I'm still going to share more. So you have to see that individual driving some sort of car. And typically you want to see them in the driver's seat. If you're the one in the driver's seat, that means that their movement and progress in life, so now you need to be prepared. You are going to move this person's life forward without much contribution from them. So you want to see them driving the car. Okay. And if this is somebody whom you want to take a dominant role in your relationship. You want to see them driving and you in the passenger seat. Okay. But if you want to take the dominant role and you see yourself driving that car, then all's fine and dandy. Okay. You have to see your potential lovers having or owning some type of car in your dreams if they do not yet own a car in waking life, because that teaches us how they are moving along on their life journey. Very important. So, Gogo, in looking at compass, kin, serve, car, what are we looking for? What are we looking for that will now allow us to make the decision, Yoguti, okay, we are developing into love with this person? You're looking for balance. You're looking for balance. Okay. Balance is very important because balance promotes life. Balance breeds life. Everything on earth exists in complements in order to maintain balance. Okay. So it is very important to look for balance. You look for balance in compass, right? You look at whether the guidance that they are following is actually making sense, ebomin babo, right? And you also look at are they not being sensational around their belief systems? See, as Africans, we tend to be sensational, and I truly believe we do that in order to avoid doing the work. We do that in order to avoid doing the work. And so by being sensational, it's almost like we're just waiting for a magic trick. Umakulu had explained in episodes 2 and 3, Uguti, you have chakras, you have these energy centers, and they are subdivided, right? According to communication, desire, and action, right? So, okay, you can't just communicate and desire. You have to act, right? And so we become sensational, some of us in the African spirituality space, because we don't want to now take the action. We want to pray for riches, but we don't want to put in the physical energy, the mechanical energy that is required, Pela, in order to draw in that wealth, in order to draw in those riches, right? We don't want to. And also, when we begin to have more, when we begin to attract more, we tend to be flashy, right? And we want people to see us. So we ask Buzuguti, kahle, what is the whole purpose of you wanting more? You know, is it to impress people, or is it for self-fulfillment and gain? You know, and also, are you self-centered and self-focused? Or rather, do you consider, Uguti, I need more, I need to build wealth so that the people who come after me do not have to struggle the way that I've struggled, right? So that the actions that they put in are not struggle actions, right? So that they move in a different direction in terms of action, and they take actions that are now going to evolve our lineage, you know, evolve the intellect, evolve the creativity of our lineage. Oh, another important thing that Umakulu is saying I must mention, Uguti, romantic love and relationships are very important to your guides and ancestors because they use them to perpetuate a lineage. Okay? They use them to customize a direction your lineage. Uguti bafuni lineage iyephi. Lineage yakho. So love and relationships in the romantic sense truly play a very important and significant spiritual role in our lives. Okay, so very important to assess ukuthi i-compass yalo muntu, does it show balance? You are looking for balance in everything. Kin, you look at the way they relate to their family, to their relatives, to their friends. Okay, is there balance, right? Do they spend too much time with friends? Do they go home kakhulu? Do you understand? Or do they balance independence and family? Do they balance solitude and company? Very important to see if there's balance there. So then we look at serve. Is there a balance in them serving and allowing themselves to being served? Are they able to pick up when there's an imbalance and then set boundaries? Very important. And then we look at the car. All right. The car, is it moving along a tar road surface? Is the car in good condition? Is the car constantly breaking down? You look at their physical car, the relationship they have with their physical car, if they own one. Is it a car that is constantly breaking down? Are they constantly complaining about their car? Very important to look at all those things. And in looking at compass, kin, serve, car, you're looking for balance, because balance breeds life. And therefore, when you develop love for this individual, having assessed compass, kin, serve, car, you then have a chance of building a very beautiful romantic relationship that is probably going to last a lifetime. Okay, so it is very important to assess compass, kin, serve, car before you develop into love with an individual, rather than fall into love. When you fall in love with a person, that already tells us you have not done much assessing. You have not looked at compass, kin, serve, car. You are just falling for a facade. Okay. So uMakhulu is plugging you with these gems. Guys, lumkani, and protect yourselves from being victims of the facade. And then you fall for it. And you find yourselves having fallen in love. Why? She's mentioning this now leads you guys, when you fall in love, this then leads you because it is not going to last. But the fundamental basis, the foundation is not there. And when are you built on sand? Whereas if you had observed compass, kin, serve, car, you would know I foundation I cannot build it. My house is omuka. If you had assessed compass, kin, serve, car. But because we don't assess it, we end up falling in love because we fell for the facade. We fell for the facade of thinking that the sand is more stable than rock. And you build and you build. And then whatever you've built comes tumbling down. And now you're in despair and you don't know what to do. But instead of going back to say, wait, what did I do wrong? Why did ama efforts amamangaka abilizwa yini? No, you want a quick fix. So you're going to go to the witches and the wizards who use black magic to cook up quick fixes for you guys. You're going to go there. And now fall for another facade. So it becomes a chain reaction. You're just falling for facade after facade after facade. When do you learn? When do you grow? When do you evolve? So it's important to be mindful. Live mindfully. That is the MO of a high vibrational human being. You live in mindfulness. And a quick fix has no business with mindfulness. Water and oil. Water and oil. Okay. So observing compass, kin, serve, car will help to protect you from bewitching yourselves. Okay? And it will help to protect you from falling for the facade. Falling in love with individuals who do not deserve your high vibrational energy, who are just there to feed off of it. Okay? but they mask and disguise behind love energy. Love is honest and true. Okay? When we say true love, we are just being redundant. Love is true in its nature. It cannot be mimicked. Okay? So where there is a presence of love, it is evident. And where there is a lack of love energy, it is also evident. Where there is a presence of love, there is clarity. There is colorful expression. You can never be confused. I'm not sure what is going on. I'm not sure how he or she feels about me. That is not love. They go the whole day without messaging me, without calling me. That is not love. It is expressive. It is clearly expressive. When you have developed into love with a human being, they will naturally be expressive and colorful about it. Okay, it's a high vibrational energy. So every time they think of you, they experience these high vibrational emotions of excitement, happiness, fulfillment. Right? They cannot wait to share time and space with you. You know? They don't pressure you to have sexual intercourse with them. Whether you have it or you don't, your presence is enough. They know that eventually you guys will, because you resonate in this love energy. And so you will. But it's not the kind of sexual engagement or interaction that will lead to you guys now having abortions. Why must it kill? That is not love. Love will be happy with the creation that results from this sexual interaction. Because it shows now the union of these two individuals that have developed into love. And they will love and cherish that creation. Okay? An individual who loves you does not abandon you and the kids you guys made together. That is not love. People are obvious. They may not be honest, but energy does not lie. So Mphemba is teaching you to observe the energy. Compass can serve car. Because that will not lie to you. They will lie with the tongue. But the energy of it all will not lie. You guys settle for not even the bare minimum. I don't know what you settle for. Because love is not minimal in any way. Love is objective. So okay, you cannot claim to be in love with a person and you don't love their family members and you don't love their kids. When you develop into love with somebody, you love the people who they love too. Right? I'm not saying you must go and love toxic people. But Angiti, that's why you observe compass can serve car. And where there is an imbalance, then you probably shouldn't invest and develop into love. Because zolimala, people do not change overnight. Because some of you think that, no, I'll change them. An entire human being with layers and layers and layers. And some of those layers are damaged and bled into, as Umakulu covered in episode 5. And then you think that you're going to come and change all of that. I mean, I'm not saying you can't. Maybe you are the miracle child or miracle individual, you know, who's been given that task. But I know it's going to take you years and years. And how many years do you think you have, Njela Mhlabeni, to achieve happiness and fulfillment? So you will dedicate your years here on earth to fixing somebody and being miserable in the process because healing is not easy. Yeah? Instead of investing that energy in yourself so that you can spend the rest of your years, whatever time you have left here, being happy, being high vibrational, being fulfilled with your life experience. I need to be here, Tina, as healers to help you. It's okay. Bring the dirt and grime here. I've got a gift to clean it up. When your business is to live high vibrationally. It's not your job to go clean up a person. Where my babo? Kunzima, as a healer, I'm telling you, kunzima to heal a person. You're going to heal layers and layers of damage. Because you want to fall into love. You don't want to develop into love. You want a quick fix. You don't want to put in the work and the efforts. It's effort to observe compass, kin, serve, car. It's effort. It's work. But you know, Guti, it's work that is going to pay off beautifully at the end. It's not playing the lottery. It is investing. It's investing. It's opening an investment profile. Not an online profile. Go lottery.co.za. Hi! Right? Love is venerable. Accorded a great deal of respect. You enter relationships with individuals who do not even show a drop, pin drop, of respect towards you guys. Ngifuna ukuthi a grain of salt or ushukela worth of respect. Nothing, zilch, nada. But there you are. I'm in love. Nabani. A person who hurts you, who beats you, who injures you, does not love you. They hurt you, they abuse you, and then they come back. I'm sorry, I just love you too much. Lies. You're damaged. You don't know what love is. You're damaged. You need to heal. But now you fall for the manipulation and the tricks because you haven't healed self. Healing, it fixes so many things. It fixes, it protects. So healing is very important. Being mindful is very important. You cannot be with somebody who injures you, who harms you, who does not respect your time, your opinions, who does not value you as a human being, who does not value your very presence. Emhlabeni nje. Ukuthi there is so much that went into your manifestation here. That alone should afford you a great deal of respect from them. But you stay in toxic relationships with people who cause you emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual harm. You stay. And some of you argue, "Kodwa gogo nje ungidlisile, ungenzeni." What happened to... Do you understand how strong your free will, your mundu is? And if you exercise spiritual maintenance, that free will is not going to be toyed around easily with. I'm telling you now. You think abakaze bazama ukungidlisa mina? Do you think abakaze bazama? Spiritual maintenance is important. It protects you. It is the difference between a person who exercises, who does strength building exercises, and a person who lounges on the couch eating a bag of potato chips. When trying times come, the fit individual has a better chance of survival than the person who is just lounging on the couch. The fit person has a better chance of not developing unsavory health issues than the person sitting lounging on the couch eating a bag of potato chips. You need to take care of self. And umakhulu, after I filmed last week's episode, she said you forgot to mention ukuthi eating right is also a form of spiritual maintenance. You have to eat right. You have to look at your diet. Bagwethu, you have to look at your diet. Your diet needs to be balanced. As a human being, you need protein. You need fiber. You need water, hydration. You need minerals and vitamins. So you balance your starches with your fiber, with your fruits, with your vegetables. Your vegetables will give you the minerals. Your fruits will give you the vitamins. Your starches will give you the starch that you need. I'm full when you're eating. And it burns, your body burns these carbs in order to produce the energy. And the fiber is going to help clean your system, help prevent constipation that results from eating these carbs. Carbs are not bad for you. It's just that you guys don't want to exercise balance. When introduced as a part of a healthy diet, carbs are perfect. Okay, so a form of spiritual maintenance, ukutya healthy as well. Drinking water. Wait, this is a big one. A lot of you don't drink water. Your urine is as yellow as a Crayola crayon. Yes, a crash. That's a preschool. That's your urine. Urine of a healthy, high-vibrational human being is pale yellow to almost clear. You're hydrated. How can you not drink water? One of the most powerful cleansing elements of the earth. How can you not drink water? Water is important. Water sustains life. So you need to drink the sustenance of life as a high vibrational human being. So now let's look at the 3 different types of relationships that now emerge in the romantic sense. And why the romantic sense, Gogo? Because our guides and ancestors are very involved in our romantic relationships as they use these relationships to perpetuate the lineage, to introduce certain favorable characteristics, right, into the lineage that are going to be of benefit, okay, in the long run, right? So, okay, there are 3 types of romantic relationships, and each type is extremely significant because there is a dynamic, there is an energy that is at play. And remember, umakhulu had mentioned ukuthi the whole point is balance, to maintain balance, okay? Where there has been an imbalance, then balance needs to be restored, okay? She's taking me back to the scale of Ma'at, when Ma'at weighs your heart against a feather. And the whole point of the weighing is to establish balance. And where there is an imbalance, then you cannot enter into the next realm. You need to go and resolve that imbalance and come back. And then we assess if there is balance. Because where you are headed to the next realm, balance is the coat that you need to be wearing in order for you to be a guide and ancestor that breathes life into the lives of your loved ones whom you have left behind. So balance is important. Imbalance does nothing to breed life. So you cannot be a high vibrational guide and ancestor if you have imbalances that you caused. They need to be rectified. So okay, umakhulu is doing you guys one up in saying, you know what? Maintain a high vibrational lifestyle, nisaphile emhlabeni, so that you cross over and you have the power to breed life. Rather than ujikiswe, and now you have to go rectify and find a means to communicate with the loved ones you've left behind. Right? In order to have them do whatever they need to do, take the physical action to help now change your frequency, adjust your frequency so that it matches that of the next role. So instead of going through all that hoo-ha, she says, okay, listen, here's the deal. Sort things out now. Sort things out now. So, okay, you need to know what these 3 types of relationships are there for the resolution of imbalances, and they are there to establish or re-establish balance once again in order to breed life. Okay, in order for life to continue. All right. So the first type of relationship there is, oh my goodness, no, I got to know. Benza too much. Benza too much. Is it possible? Benza too much. No. Okay. So the first type of relationship is, let's start with a soulmate relationship. Okay. A soulmate relationship is where you and another individual now resonate with love energy. A soulmate relationship comes about when you have assessed compass, kin, serve, car, and you now choose to develop. Guys, no man, you're doing too much with the hooting. This is ridiculous. Up on my cell phone. Like, you know, ihutia irritated. Even as a driver, we press a one year irritate. And you now develop into love with this individual. It is beautiful. It is reciprocal. Okay. So remember, you're not just the only one observing compass, kin, serve, car, right? The other person as well that you're going to relate with, that you're going to be in a relationship with, right, in this love energy, is also observing compass, kin, serve, car, ngawe. Right? So, okay, communication is important, guys. You can't observe compass, kin, serve, car without communicating. You have to communicate. You have to find out their stance. What are your belief systems? You know? You have to know all of this. You have to at least have met a family member, some. Okay? You need to meet their people. You need to meet the friends. Okay? And ubajume. Don't give them a chance to go and tell their friends, hey, ni pretendege magenge. Na man. Jume, it's okay. Where are you? No, I'm with friends. Okay, I'm popping by. How ganjan? Send me location. The minute they hesitate, you tell the location that you don't want me at. Okay. If it's not conducive for me, is it a toxic environment? So what's going on? So, okay, you then decide, Wuti, you are developing into love with one another, and okay, you then move on to the next phase, which is either committing to one another through marriage or as long-term life partners. Okay, guys, marriage is not compulsory. Some of you believe, Wuti, you have to get married. You don't have to get married. Some individuals prefer to spend the afterlife with abanbago wabo, with omakhulu babo, and not be at another homestead. Okay, so then they would opt for long-term partnership and not necessarily marriage. So again, you guys develop into love with one another, and again, you build this life, you commit to one another, you will go on to have children and just build a happy life overall. Okay, provided Uguti compass, kin, serve, car checked out. If compass, kin, serve, car did not check out and you get married, divorce is in your future. I'm sorry to say, I'm sorry to be blunt, but it's in your future because the energy is all wrong. The energy is all wrong. Okay. You did not observe whether love energy is truly present by observing compass can serve car. Right. Okay. So, okay, soulmate relationships are important because they form the basis of this next type of relationship. And this is a twin soul or twin flame relationship. Now, this relationship type has been hyped up and sensationalized all throughout the different spirituality spaces, but more so in the Western spirituality space. I'm not a fan of Western spirituality. I'm not going to call it twin flame because I don't understand the flame part. Your twin soul connection or relationship type arises when a soulmate relationship experiences an injustice, experiences an imbalance because of an injustice. Okay, to the couple. What do you mean, Gogo? So you develop into love with this individual because you've observed compass can serve car and it checked out, but now tragedy strikes and the relationship is short-lived because one individual passes on. Becomes a problem now because you did not get enough time to have a full, fulfilling experience of this soulmate relationship. And so what happens is that instead of happiness and fulfillment and contentment, grief and pain take over. Grief and pain are an imbalance. And so that imbalance needs to be rectified, the karma of it. Okay, karma meaning energy returning. So okay, the karma of it needs to be resolved so that it does not play out throughout the lineage. That energy of grief and hurt and pain. Okay, and despair. So okay, one individual passes on and the other soulmate is now left here on earth grief-stricken. Okay, what will happen is that the grandchildren of that couple are going to be birthed here on earth, right? And they are going to now have a twin soul. Okay. And it's usually one child. It takes one child to resolve this grief that now has the potential of being generational. Okay. So, okay, in my lineage, let's say I'll be the one who then manifests on earth, and in another lineage, that individual will be the one who manifests on earth. Okay. So how do you know, Uguti, this is a twin soul connection? The clan name. That is the most telling sign of a twin soul connection. The clan name. You will be of one clan. So as Africans, we have clan names. Sine Tagazelo. These are the clan names. All right. So, okay, the surname may be different in spelling and pronunciation, but when you research the history through Ukbugi Tagazelo, you see Uguti, this is one clan. Okay, so that is the first sign. Okay, pay attention, guys. This is a gem Makulu is dropping for you so that Ninga Hambin Fufi say, oh, I've got a twin flame. This is very rare. It's very rare. Okay, and it is the resolution of a karmic energy of grief, of despair, of hurt because of an injustice that infiltrated a soulmate, a genuine high vibrational soulmate connection. Now, what happens is that the female twin will come from marriage. Okay? They will have a mom and a father who married. They will be a child of wedlock. And the male twin is going to be a child of the maiden home. So their mom would have not married. They had them ekaya. Why is that significant? This is significant, ne? Because remember, the soulmate. So firstly, you must understand ukuthi le soulmate dynamic plays out, ne? Where there was some form of commitment, okay, in the form of marriage. If you committed as long-term partners, that does not constitute or give rise to or birth a soul flame, because you did not change homesteads. Once you reach the separation stage of decomposition and expansion, umuntu nomuntu uyakowabo. Okay, hayi banu babini, you go into one homestead. But where there is marriage, you go into one homestead. The reason why the female comes from a marital home and the male does not come from a marital home is so that a marriage takes place. A marriage will take place in a twin soul connection. It will, because it is a very important part of resolving the karma. Okay, of resolving the imbalance, the injustice. So, okay, it is so that when this lady who is born in wedlock, right, enters this homestead, the energy of marriage and union is brought back. Right? To the homestead. The imbalance is rectified. The imbalance is rectified because the one represents Uguti there was a marriage, and then the one represents Uguti the marriage was broken down in some way. But a wound developed because of an injustice, of an imbalance. Okay, so this one who comes from the balance will be joined with the one who comes from the imbalance, and the imbalance is going to be restored. Okay, I hope it makes sense, Makulu. I hope I'm explaining it well. So, okay, a twin soul relationship or connection is always comprised of two individuals of the same clan who then come into union in order to rectify the imbalance that was caused. Now, the issue with twin soul relationships, right, is that when you observe compass, kin, serve, car, there has to be resonance. There has to be balance. There are no two ways about it. So you'll find, Guti, your compass is the same. Your kin, the way that you relate with your family members is the same. You share the same values. You'll find with your acts of service, you speak a similar language. Okay? And you'll find, Wuti, vehicle-wise, you have the same issues. Or if this is in dreamscape, then you will see yourselves driving in one vehicle. Debilitate. Okay. You will also see your twin soul interact with your guides and ancestors. You will see them. Okay? You will see them in your homestead and you're wondering, Jani, you are of the same clan. But Gogo, we're not brother and sister. No, there's too much gene variation for you to be brother and sister. And you guys, you don't have a leg to stand on complaining about that. The majority of you, you believe in Christianity. You believe ukuthi God made Adam and Eve, who then engaged with each other sexually, and they gave birth to the entire human race, Njani. That means that their kids had to sleep with one another. Incest. You believe that, and you run with it. So you believe ukuthi as human beings, we are just deformed because we are a product of incest. Ngoba phela, if ulala nomuntu wakowenu, there's going to be gene problems. Yeah, there's going to be gene mutations. Ingani izozala ithe. I'm being silly. But no, you're not siblings. You're not siblings. Remember, in African spirituality, tribes or clans did not come about just through people who are DNA related to one another. There was a mixture of different genes coming together. Abanye, they came from another tribe. Bezo tola refuge in this tribe, and then they were adopted into this clan name. So there's too much of a mix and variation in the genetic sequence. So you're not siblings. Twin soul relationships are no joke. They are no joke. And they are extremely challenging because they resolve this grief. Also, with twin soul relationships, you will find ukuthi the lady is not able to reproduce with other individuals. Ihectic. Twin soul relationship, the Western version, I don't know what it is. I'm not even interested. The African version is deep. Our ancestors are deep and thorough. Anbon ngomampembe. She will not reproduce with any other individual. And the minute she engages in sexual intercourse with her twin, a life will result. Okay? Because your purpose here on earth was to come and reunite with your twin in order to resolve now this generational imbalance where grief and despair and hurt was introduced through an injustice into a beautiful soulmate relationship where there was love, because compass can serve car checked out. The final relationship type we have is a karmic relationship. Okay, karmic, which means that there is karma to be resolved. There is a karma at play. Karmic relationships are relationships that result because you have a damaged inner child, because there is a wound that is infected and that is bleeding onto your layers as you grow, right? As this human being. So there's a wound that you need to uncover, that you need to heal. And as long as that wound is festering, you are going to attract the energy of that wound. So then we look at how was this wound inflicted. So if you were physically abused in your childhood by your caretakers, parents, bullies, right? You are going to now attract somebody who's going to physically you. Okay. If you were taken advantage of sexually, you're going to attract that energy of being sexually taken advantage of. Okay. If you were dismissed and made to believe that you're not worth anything in this landscape of life, you're going to attract individuals who do not see or recognize your worth. This is not to punish you. This is not for fun either. This is to warn you straight to your face. Uba, fix, resolve this wound it is going to cause an issue for you when it's time for you to cross over. Okay, so karmic relationships are always toxic. There is always a back and forth. There is animosity, there is fighting, there is unfaithfulness, all these low vibrational energies. Okay, there is a toxicity. There is a dependency, right? Codependency, when you are so dependent on this person, you feel like you can't breathe without them. And they keep on threatening now, I'm going to leave you. No, I'm leaving you. I'm dumping you. This. So uyasangana, so into hlezi heartbroken. It's because this wound is attached to you. It's holding on to you. You need to heal it. And then you'll start to see the energy change. You'll start to see yourselves now attracting a soulmate instead of this karmic partner. Okay. So where there is love, there is peace, there is harmony, and it is clear as day, it is colorful, it is expressive. Okay. Also, karmic relationships are very self-concerned and self-observed. I love him. I love her. I cannot live without her. I this. I this. That's a problem. And you are incredibly subjective because the issue is with you as an individual. Okay. A loving soulmate relationship or a soulmate relationship that has developed into love is objective. We are in love. The minute you talk about, you come into my sessions, oh, Gogo, I love him. Yo, Gogo, I love her. Agniza, Gogo, we are in love. We love each other incredibly. That's already a problem. I already know. Oh, sloned. Let me get my tools ready. Okay. You need to be mindful. When you cannot stop thinking of a person and you're obsessing over them, it's not love. It's hurt, it's pain, it's trauma. You need to heal it. Okay? Love is very secure. And it puts you in such an independent energy. Wherever your soulmate is, you know very well that they love you incredibly. And you are secured in that. You know very well, Uguti, the communication is clear, expressive, no ambiguity whatsoever. You know very well. They're not obsessed with you either. They can still live their own life just as you can live your own life. But it's this venerable energy of love that is there, that cannot be destroyed, that you share with this person. It grounds you. It gives you a sense of security. You know very well. They are secured in your guys' love, and you are too. We are in love. The minute you come to my sessions and talk about, I am in love, way. Okay, let's look at Compass Kinsurf car. Let's see what's going on. Ay clicky. Compass Kinsurf car. Yeah, click. It's Ganshan. How did you get into this relationship? I already know it's probably toxic. Because you fell for a facade. Okay. A karmic relationship prompts you to do your inner healing, heal the damage that was inflicted upon you as a child. You cannot go back and change the situation. Okay, but you get a chance to heal the affliction as an adult so that your life looks different and it moves in a high vibrational, happier, fulfilling, content direction. So ke umakhulu shares this formula with us today because she wants us to enter fulfilling relationships in the romantic sense. And she wants us to learn to stop giving of ourselves too freely. Okay. Umakhulu wants us to understand what love is and to get a chance during our time here on earth to truly experience love energy. She also wants you to not be swayed in all different directions by all the commotion and noise that is out there with regards to spirituality. Not everything is for you, guys. You need to be discerning. Not everything is for you. Okay? Not everybody who comes into your lives in the romantic sense is a twin soul, a twin flame. No. You need to understand those concepts and don't just jump on them sensationally. Okay? Love and relationships are very deep. And love is the kind of energy that everybody desires. That's why people will go to great lengths to manipulate a free will yabanye abantwana, to trick them into thinking ukuthi they are in love. Because everybody wants this love energy, but it is not afforded to everybody in the romantic sense. And even if we look at this love energy outside of the romantic sense, your guides and ancestors are a perfect example. Trailblazers, gelabo. Because they come into your sessions and they are clear and concise. And they tell you exactly, here's the deal. Here's what we advise you do. You guys don't want to hear it because you don't understand what love is. You're not used to love. You're used to the facade. You're used to the facade. People lying to you and you believe the lies. Lo oza neqiniso ngoba ekuthanda ngampela uyakubhedela nje. Uthethe intsamba theka nje. Hawu uyandihlolela chi. Ndishiya umuntu wami mina. Yes, ayingomuntu wakho. Ayingomuntu wakho. You've got a trauma bond to that person. Because you're holding on to this wound. You need to let that wound go. Some of you, after going through a divorce or a breakup or a separation, you struggle to let go. Right? And you come to me, ngizokwenza cord cutting mina, to cut the energetic cords that developed because you guys were engaging sexually. But you have to go back and peel back the layers and heal that damage that was inflicted upon you in child state. That makes you now believe, Uguti, this person is the God of your life. You cannot breathe without them. You can breathe kahle. And in fact, by healing that wound and damage, you will breathe cleaner air than the one they bring. Imdag. Any human being who puts you in a position where you are hurt, you are injured, you are disrespected, where you are confused, and there's ambiguity with regards to Guti, ngiyathandwa la or angithandwa, does not love you. Love is lucid. It is colorfully and clearly expressive. Okay? Love is objective. They will love you and your people. They will love you and your tribe. They will care about your opinions. They'll care about your feelings, not just their own. Love is venerable. They will afford you a great deal of respect. Balance, reciprocation. Very important. Okay. So I'm going to end today's episode here. Understand, Wuti, there's a deeper meaning behind love and relationships. Okay. It's not just umjolo for fun. Whatever's going on with umjolo, I don't know, but it's not love. Okay. And that's why nigowa ke. Nigowisa izinto esingazazi. Imimoya yezizwe, because it's not love. Love is pure. Love is authentic. It is true. Love is compassionate, kind. Love is of service. Love extends care. Those are the building blocks. And you can always detect the presence of love by observing compass from compassion, kin from kindness, serve from service, and car from care. Okay? Carry this formula with you throughout your lifescape and see if you will not find yourselves in fulfilling, content, happy, joyful, romantic relationships in your lives as human beings. Thank you so much for tuning into the Healing Podcast with uGogo Mphemba. May your healing be absolute and profound throughout your life journey here on earth and beyond. CAMAGU.